My name is Joel D'Souza. I am a Jesuit, currently a deacon, doing my pastoral ministry here at St. Michael's Parish, Manikpur, Vasai. I was born here in Bombay in 1983. My father, Albert, is a retired railway employee. My mother, Cynthia, is a teacher. I have a younger brother named Noel, who is a seminarian, doing his theology studies at St. Pius College, Goregaon, Bombay. After my studies in school, I joined SIES Junior College, and after that, my engineering. I worked in the field of internet marketing for a few years before joining the Jesuits. My faith in God was primarily nurtured by my family. My mother was my first catechism teacher, and I very fondly remember Saturday evening masses when she used to come back from school and take me to mass. One important part of my childhood was small pilgrimages. I remember visiting quite often Don Bosco's church in Matunga and the Infant Jesus Shrine at Nasik. And having been in Europe for 3 years, I had the opportunity to take it forward by visiting Assisi, Lourdes and Cassia. These experiences have allowed me to interact with people and help me deepen my own faith. Pilgrimage, visiting holy shrines, spending time in churches that I like has helped me grow in faith. I spent the initial years of my childhood living in a chawl with my family. I was surrounded by friends and neighbors from different faiths with whom I was able to celebrate the feasts of Gudi Padwa, Ganesh Chaturthi and Diwali. Living around this middle-class environment taught me about dependence on God, and this has continued in my life later. School was an important factor because the strongest influence in school was my principal, Father James De Silva. And I feel that he was one of the most important witnesses to the priesthood that I have seen, not only for the sacraments, but for social pastoral work. He knew the names of most students and he knew what was going on in their families. He was available, accessible and generous. He is an inspiration that I try to live up to. Another significant experience in school was in class 10th. I attended a 3-day retreat with the Bombay Jesuits organized by Father Tony V and Father Gerard. But the most important experience during those 3 days was not the prayer or the singing. I happened to meet Father George Ribas, a Spanish Jesuit, and my meeting with him was quite a surprise. For the first time I saw a priest with long hair, a bushy beard, and for the first time I shared something personal with the priest. But what was important was not the solution, but the peace and calm that he exuded and the fact that he was there to help people. Around the same time, I read about John Powell, an American Jesuit, who was teaching and counseling. It was at that time I realized that being a priest is not only about sacraments, but also about going out and helping people. These were important formative experiences. I contacted the Jesuits in 2007, and there I met Father Philip Terrassa, who warmly welcomed me. And the first words that we used was, "My God, Joel, you are so tall." And it surprised me that phrase that I being tall was something magnificent. Since then, I remained in touch with the Jesuits, and I continued to work with them, especially at the Shrine of the Infant Jesus every year during the feast. So finally, in 2011, I decided to take the plunge and look where this path led me. I became a candidate in 2011, and with the intention of simply staying there for 6 months and seeing what would happen next. At the end of 6 months, I decided to go to the novitiate with the sole idea of being there for 2 years and wondering what would happen next. I kept the door to leaving open. But 10 years have passed, and here I am on the threshold of ordination. My experience now has been more profound, more deep, by visiting people, by preaching, by administering the sacraments proper to a deacon, and in my activity as the youth director. By visiting many people, I have come to understand the struggles that they're going through, share in their joys, and also understand what happens to me when I listen to them. Listening to people has been a very active part of my ministry, something which I hope to continue. In these 10 years as a Jesuit, I have been able to discover how God speaks to me, or how I understand what God wants from me. My experiences have been very ordinary. There has been nothing great about it. I learned this in the second year of my novitiate, that God speaks to me through very human experiences. and this has allowed me to maintain my relationship with Him, to sustain this faith that I received from my parents and in this vocation. My spiritual directors since the past 10 years have helped me chart this path towards ordination. It's something that I believe I am also called to, and the ministry of reconciliation. As we have chosen the theme towards reconciliation, it is a very important part of Jesuit life. Not just reconciliation in the sacrament of confession, but reconciliation through dialogue among people, reconciliation in the service of justice, reconciliation of man to God and man to others. This is something which I hope to carry on in my ministry as a priest.